and Kansas Senator Roger Marshall.
So, Senator, good morning to you. Now, we know some Republicans, including Appropriations Chair Senator Susan Collins, been working behind the scenes to adjust some of the White House's package, specifically cuts to public broadcasting. Is that going to water it down, or do we think this thing is actually going to get through on Friday?
Well, Mark, I think we'll get it across the finish line, and I think it's important to remember why this is so important. Our nation is $37 trillion in debt. We're spending $1 trillion a year in interest. We're asking the Republicans to do what we said we were going to do. We said we were going to cut spending. Now, the one big beautiful bill, record amounts of spending cuts, but here's a small chance to take a $9 billion bite out of the apple. This is only $9 billion. Look, folks back in Kansas are tired of the federal government spending $1 billion on public broadcasting. In today's world, I don't see that the benefits outweigh the detriment here. I think there's better things to do with that money. I think that we should proceed forward. A second point why this is important is it only takes 50 Republicans to do this. Usually in the Senate, it takes 60 votes. We got the big, beautiful bill done with 50 plus votes, and we'll do the same thing with this. I think we'll get it across the finish line.
Yeah, what are the implications, though, if we don't get it across the finish line? Congress has not agreed to cut spending, that it previously approved since Bill Clinton was in the White House. So there's a long history that it may not happen.
Well, I think that means that the swamp is still really deep up here and that Republicans aren't willing to step forward and do the right thing. Look, DOGE has found like $2 trillion of waste, fraud, and abuse over the last 20-some years, $190 billion of cuts that they would like to make through wasted contracts and NGO grants, those types of things. This is a small bite of the apple, very small. USAID, this is the number one thing on my list I gave to Elon and the team that I saw just the horrible fraudulent abuse out there, that the USAID had become a slush fund for Democrats where they hired their buddies and their relatives and did all their DEI malarkey, I'll say. So this is a chance for Republicans to stand up and do what we said we were going to do. Surely 50 of us can do the right thing. Let's make America first. Let's take that $9 billion and pay down our debt.
Yeah, Senator, the president's not messing around with this one. He posted on Truth Social saying any Republican that votes to allow this monstrosity to continue broadcasting, referring to NPR, will not have my support or endorsement. Senator, I could not imagine any Republican going to their voters with a message that I'm pro-government spending.
Well, that may help Susan Collins, but the rest of us do not want to be on President Trump's naughty list, right? So Mr. Putin's on the president's naughty list right now. It's not a good list to be on, trust me. I've seen people get their knees cut off by being on the president's naughty list. But regardless, the president is America first. The Senate Republicans should be America first. We should get this rescissions package across the finish line while we have the chance.
Before we go, I want to ask you about former President Joe Biden and his use of the auto pen. He was now interviewed by the New York Times, and Biden really defended himself and his frequent use of the signature tool at the end of his term. He says he, quote, made every decision and authorized it. Of course, this comes after his White House doctor, Kevin O'Connor, pleaded the fifth during that hearing last week with the Oversight Committee. Senator, you're a physician. What do you make of all of this?
Well, look, Joe Biden doesn't know what day it is. I'd love to see him do a live interview. Let's invite him on to Newsmax today. Come on in, Joe Biden. Let's have a live interview and let's discuss this. Where are the notes that would prove that he participated in those conversations? Look, when I have conversations like that with my staff, there's copious notes supporting what they presented to me and that I was involved in the conversation. So show proof. So don't tell me, show me. So let's see the reports there. Look, this president, Joe Biden, was in a cognitive decline, neurodegenerative decline for years, and like I said, I'm not sure he knows what day it is, let alone understanding. Was it 1,500 you said that he had pardoned? 1,500 some people?
Yeah. Senator, real quickly, as a doctor, doctor-patient confidentiality, HIPAA requirements. Do you think Congress needs to get involved in 30 seconds to restrict that, or at least provide another avenue when it comes to the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief?
No, I think the law's in our favor already. Look, I'm ethically bound to protect the patient's privacy, but then being subpoenaed trumps that. If I'm called to be a witness, then that trumps my ethical obligation. I don't have to disclose all the non-important things about that person's medical history. But if it's something that impacts the case at hand, in this case, the president putting our nation at risk in so many ways, economically as well as national security. So I think we're good right in the laws that we have right now. We just need to enforce them. And I think if this goes to the Supreme Court, they'll prove us right here.
Yeah,
all right.
Most definitely. Well, Senator Roger Marshall, really appreciate your joining us. Thank you.
Good.